in the kitchen, and we have ourselves an amazing set of recipes today. One of the most popular, I guess you could say, fitness-based recipes of all time is protein fluff. If you haven't tried it out, well, you're in luck, because today we're going to be doing 3 different versions of it. One with fruit, one with 0 sugar, and one for those of you who don't have access to protein powder. So let's get started on the original and classic protein fluff recipe first. In this recipe, we're going to be using casein protein, frozen blueberries, and almond milk. Go ahead and begin by taking 1 cup of frozen fruit. It's very important that they're frozen. This is really going to help with the fluff. We're using blueberries, but you can use blackberries, strawberries, raspberries, you name it. Next, 1 scoop of your protein powder. We're using casein, but you can feel free to use whey as well. We recommend vanilla flavor or something similar. Next, we're going to go ahead and take a splash of unsweetened almond milk. Now, a splash varies. With casein, you're going to need a little bit more than you would with whey. We're using about 1/4 cup. But what you're going to want to do now is just mash everything together manually. This is really going to help when you begin mixing it so everything doesn't fly everywhere. If, as you begin mixing it, you notice it's a little bit thick, maybe too thick, that's your cue to add a little bit more of the almond or normal milk. Just add a little tiny bit at a time, and when it really starts fluffing, you know it's going to work well. You're going to mix for quite some time. I'd recommend 3 to 4 minutes. The more you mix, really the fluffier it gets, which is awesome. All right, there we go, version number 1. That's the classic, and I gotta tell you, it is absolutely amazing. Love this snack, and even though it uses 1 cup of fruits, it's really not that high in sugar. But what about those of you who maybe wanna try the 0 sugar option? Well, we've got you covered. Let's go ahead and start on that one right now. You're gonna need 3 eggs and 1 scoop of whey protein with some ice. Go ahead and begin by separating your egg whites from your egg yolks. It helps if your eggs are room temperature because it's just gonna make them mix a little bit easier, get them a little bit fluffier. They don't have to be, but it's a nice little tip there. Go ahead and whip the egg whites by themselves. Whip, whip, whip. It's gonna take 3 to 4 minutes. You're really gonna notice when they do because they're gonna get super, super fluffy. The more you whip, the fluffier they get. Next, go ahead and add your 1 scoop of protein into the mix. Go ahead and mix that up for a bit. You're gonna notice it mixes, but now it's not quite as fluffy as it was before. Well, we're about to change that, because go ahead and take your shaved ice, and if you don't have shaved ice, go ahead and put your ice cubes in a blender or a food processor, mix those up, and put the shaved ice into the other 2 ingredients and begin mixing once again. And Viola, there we go, it's fluffy again. And even though this one is a 0 sugar option, it's still very, very tasty and surprisingly filling as well. Okay, let's move on to the last variation. So let's say you don't have protein powder. All you have access is to some frozen fruits and some eggs. What do? Well, you can still make protein fluff, thankfully. So what you're gonna wanna do, separate the eggs just like you did before, whip them up until they're nice and fluffy, and now with the 1 cup of fruit, you can use strawberries, blueberries, blackberries. With this one, try to choose a fruit that's a little bit sweeter. It's really gonna help with the end result. We're still using blueberries, which are sweet, but you know, if you grab something like strawberry, it's even gonna be a little bit more sweeter. Of course, it's up to you. I enjoy blueberries myself. So go ahead and put those fruits in a separate bowl, mash them up, Buff Dude style. Oh yeah, as you can see, I'm using a muddler, just making sure those things are nice and mashed. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put them into the eggs, begin whipping them up until they're nice and fluffy. There you go, 3 variations of protein fluff. One of our favorite recipes of all time. Very simple, which always makes it really nice. But you know what? Enough talk about food. It's time for the workout. Yeah.
Nice burning those legs, especially the quads. So you'll notice in the leg press, there's gonna be no hip activation like in the squat. So you're not really gonna feel it in the glutes or as much in the hamstrings. Maybe a little bit if you put your legs or your feet a bit higher on the pad, but it's mainly just all that leg drive. So you really wanna kinda isolate the strength in just the legs rather than the hips and glutes and everything. Leg press is the way to go.
Second leg day, 1 week. trying to get out of this leg press machine. We're just getting started, so I better get used to it. I'm gonna have full use of the legs for at least the next hour, but I think we're ready. Feeling pretty good. But it's definitely gonna be a great way to end the week and this phase with one more brutal leg workout.
Yeah, now I know what it feels like going up a large step weighing 100 more pounds. It's not easy. Whew.
Step ups. 4 sets, 10 reps. Each leg. Yeah, we apologize ahead of time. It's gonna be worth it though, we promise. Even if it doesn't feel like it at the time. You're building those tree trunks, 1 rep at a time.
Yeah, another exercise that doesn't really require any hip extension. Since your hips are stable, the quads are gonna activate a bit more because it's really about more the knee extension, flexion and extension. So that's why you'll feel it so much on the damn quads.
Single leg Romanian deadlifts. 4 sets, 10 reps. This one is a balancing act. So, you know, if you lose your balance a little bit on the first time, don't get too self-conscious. We've all been there. But with this one, nice, slow and controlled on the way down. Go ahead and spring yourself back up to top position a little bit like a rubber band. You can keep your free arm out to the side if you'd like. Help with stability. And like I said, start with lighter weights if you're just starting out. Just get a feel for it, because balance is a big part of this exercise.
Feel like a little ballerina. I'm so pretty. Oh, so pretty. Okay, let's change it. I'm so buff.
Standing calf raises, 4 sets, 15 reps. As you can see, we're improvising a little bit with a leg press machine, doing some calf raises because there wasn't any standing calf raises available. Unfortunately, from time to time, you're gonna find that, especially when your gym's busy. You gotta find an alternate exercise, so that's what we're doing today. Still getting that calf activation, but just using a different machine.
Feeling it. Obliques. Not a lot to say about these. Pretty simple exercise, but I guess one thing to keep in mind is that you're working in opposites. So the arm that's holding the weight, it's actually gonna be the opposite side of your body that's crunching in. So if you're holding it with your left side, your right oblique is the one doing the work, although the antagonist is gonna be the left side, or the opposite side of your oblique. That's gonna help stabilize the motion. So it's good.
I'm confused. It's good, let's just say that. Do that shit.